SQL is an acronym for the Structure Query Language. It comes in handy while working with relational databases, while MySQL is a relational database management system for storing, retrieving, modifying, and administrating databases. Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about the differences between SQL and MySQL. But before getting started, if you like our video, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. So, without any further delay, let's move on to today's agenda to understand what all topics will be covered today. We will begin the session with a brief introduction to databases, then RDBMS, which is Relational Databases Management, then what is SQL, why we should use the SQL, what is MySQL, and why we should use the same. And finally, we'll move on to the topic of the day, which is SQL versus MySQL. So let's start with databases. Databases are organized collection of data for easy access and management. It enables us to store any form of data in vast quantities, like you organize in tables, rows, and columns. The main purpose of the database is operation and storage and managing data. Few examples of databases are MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, SQL Server, etc. Now we will look into the introduction to RDBMS. So RDBMS or Relational Database Management is a more complex database management system that let you organize, maintain, retrieve and register tabular databases. It is one of the most commonly used tools by data analysts and database managers. And in RDBMS, data is always stored in tables and remain accessible. Now we will discuss what is SQL. So, SQL or Structure Query Language is the standard language for operating, managing, and accessing databases. It is owned and hosted by Microsoft. It can be used to create programs that make changes to databases, also to construct and alter database schemas. So here's a few basic queries of SQL like select, which helps you to extract data from the database, create database, which can help you to make new databases, then delete, which can help you to delete the data from the dataset, alter table, which help you to modify a pre-existing table, insert into, which helps you to insert new data into pre-existing database, create table, which helps you to create new table within the database, update, which help you to update the data in the database. Now if you have to talk about why we should use SQL, the reason can be many. Firstly, it helps you to learn data mining in an efficient way. The SQL programmers are highly in demand in job market. The data stored in SQL is dynamic and SQL is effective in data manipulation at any time. SQL can combine two or more sources to extract the record. It can also help you to manage servers or create your own server. Let's discuss what is SQL. So, MySQL was created back in 1995 by MySQL AB, but now it is owned by Oracle and sold by Oracle as well. It is an open source relational database management which can perform certain functions in a database using SQL command. C and C++ are the programming languages that are used to create MySQL, and it practically runs on all major operating systems like Windows, Mac, OS, Linux, and Unix based computers. So, now why should we use MySQL? First would be it offers extensive support for all types of application development. Plugin libraries are available in MySQL for embedding databases functionality into many applications. It also includes connectors and drivers. It provides application developers with all they need to construct data-driven information system as well. and it even provides comprehensive support for every application development need. Now, let's come to our topic for today's, that is MySQL versus SQL. So, as the first topic of comparison, we have definition. So, what is definition of SQL? SQL is the standard language for operating, managing, and accessing databases. Now, let's see what is the definition of MySQL. So, MySQL is a relational database management system for storing, retrieving, modifying, and administering databases. So, next point is history. So far, SQL was born in 1970 as a programming language known as SQL. It was developed by Microsoft Corporation, but now it is also known as SQL. While MySQL claims to be the first open source relational database in the early 1990s, it was developed by MySQL AB and is currently owned by Oracle Corporation. Now, looking into the complexities to use SQL efficiently, you must first learn and then grasp the language to start working with SQL. While for MySQL, you can easily access it by downloading and installing the same. Now, coming to the usage. SQL is a programming language, so it can be used by querying and operating, while MySQL allows for data manipulation, storage, modification, and deletion in a tabular format. Now, the syntax or format. So, SQL is a programming language, as we all know. Now, the syntax and format are fixed. It's declarative and easy to use. It starts with a clause and ends with semicolon. While MySQL is a software and not a programming language, hence it does not have any commands or any form. Now, for the update, since SQL is a programming language, it is fixed and command remains unchanged and we can't update, while MySQL has its latest updates and version for enhanced performance. Now, for supporting languages. SQL was designed for Windows, but it also works on Linux, Mac OS in its most recent versions. While MySQL is a cross platform compatible running on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows as well. Now, coming to data security. SQL servers are secured as no third party or outsiders are allowed to manipulate data, while in MySQL it is susceptible to more security threats due to its open source nature. It gives access to data manipulation and modification to unauthorized users as well during the runtime. So that's about it for today's session. We'll meet again in our next video. And if you have any doubt or queries from the session, please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, be kind enough to like it. Until then, happy learning.